my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this look with only drugstore products, and I think it turned out pretty awesome. Thanks for everyone that has subscribed, and thanks for all your love and support, and let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to go in with this Revlon Color Stay foundation. It's the Whipped foundation, and it's in the color True Beige. And I'm just going to dot that all over my face so that I can make sure I get even coverage all over. I really do like this foundation. It's been one of my favorites for a long time. I will link all of the products and the prices down below in the description box so you guys can get an idea of how expensive all of these items are. This one and the L'Oreal True Match are my favorite drugstore foundations. So if you guys are looking for a good drugstore foundation, those are the two that I would go for. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my hands to blend this all in. Your hands are great tools that God gave you. So if you don't have the right brushes, don't worry. I'm using this NYX HD Concealer in, I don't know what shade it was, but it's one of their lightest shades. I like to make my under eye area very bright, so I am going to apply this in that triangular shape so that I can look very bright underneath my eyes and awake. I'm going to put some down the center of my nose and on my eyelids. By putting it on the center of my nose, it's going to help slim down my nose. On the eyelids, it's going to act as a primer for my eyeshadows to really stick to. And then I'm putting it on all these other places. I'm using this Real Techniques sponge. It's really dirty. But I'm going to use that to blend out all of my concealer, and I'm just using this little dabbing motion to do so. I really love this sponge for that reason. I get it damp, so I soak it under water and I'll squeeze out all the excess water, and it will just make it spongy and bouncy, and I just love it. I like those spots on my face to look light on my forehead and my chin so that it all looks even and it all looks natural. Next, I'm going to go in with this Rimmel Match Perfection Loose Powder and Translucent. I'm going to tap some in the lid, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that with my Real Techniques sponge, and I'm going to just dab that underneath my eyes to set that concealer so I don't get any creasing underneath my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my forehead where I have some forehead wrinkles and on my eyes. I'm going to use the Morphe E41 brush. It's this big powder brush, and I'm just going to set my makeup. These Morphe brushes are really affordable, so I thought I would add those in. I do use these every day though, the Morphe brushes. So I'm just going to set my whole face with that brush. I love this brush because it's so big and it gets such a big area. Now I'm going to take that Wet n Wild All Naturel palette, and I'm going to take this dark chocolate brown and my MAC angled brush, and I am going to go ahead and apply my brows with that color. I really love this MAC angled brush. I really do feel like it's worth the money. If you are going to spend money on a brush, I would use this one. I'm just going to speed this up real quick here because my brows do take a long time. Then I'm going to go ahead and go in with this Morphe R37 brush. It's my favorite fluffy brush, and I'm going to take that taupey brown color for my transition area, and I'm going to tap off some of the excess. I'm just going to put it in my transition area, which is the area right above your crease. You want to take it not all the way up to your brow, but just in that area so it looks very blended when I'm going to put that darker color on. So I just use circular motions and then some windshield wiper motions and just really give it that blown out, blended look that I love. Then I'm going to take the M433 and I'm going to take that dark chocolate color again, and I'm going to put that on the outer corner of my eye. So I just put it in the crease and then kind of down on my lash line, and I just keep blending it. And I'm really surprised at how beautiful these eyeshadows went on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that other eye as well. And you want to just keep blending, blending, so you don't have any of those harsh lines, and it will really just give you such a pretty look. I'm going to take my fingers again and use this light shimmery champagne color, and I'm going to pop that on my eyelid. I actually really love to use my fingers for eyeshadow like this. It really just gets the most amount of product on your eye, and it really just helps melt it into your skin. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other eye as well and see how beautiful it's starting to look. I was really so surprised with these shadows, you guys. Okay, now I'm going to take this Morphe E18. It's a little pencil brush, and I'm going to take that taupey shade again, and I'm going to go ahead and go underneath my eye with it to give it kind of a smoky look. So just right underneath my lash line, I'm going to do that. Just blend it out. I'm going to take some more of that loose powder and just clean up any eyeshadow that may have fallen on my under eye area, and just dab it on there and let it bake for a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this gross old pencil brush that I love from Bare Minerals and take that black shade, and I'm going to line my eyes with that. So see, I just put it right there on my lash line, work it into the middle. I like to start in the middle of my eye first so that I don't get a ton of product in my inner corner. Go ahead and put that on my waterline. And then I'm going to blink my eyes so it gets onto my upper waterline as well. Then I'm going to go take my favorite mascara, the Voluminous Carbon Black, and I'm going to apply that on my lashes. I do love the new Lash Paradise mascara, but I tend to reach for this one more instead. So I think this still has to be my favorite. I just love how black it is and how easy it is to apply. So I'm just gonna do this really quickly. I wish I could really do my eyelashes this fast in real life. I'm just gonna speed this up. Look how pretty that looks. Okay, so now I'm gonna dust off that extra powder from underneath my eye. And I got a little powder in my eye on my mascara. Then I'm going to take this Fit Me powder and this bronzer brush. It's the R2 bronzer brush from Morphe. This powder is just a couple shades darker than my natural skin tone. It is actually just a powder. It's not an actual bronzer. When I'm doing a drugstore look, I like to use this instead of finding a drugstore bronzer because it tends to look more natural. This color is 320 Natural Tan, and it's the Matte and Poreless powder. I'm going to go ahead and put it in under my cheekbones and on my forehead, my 5 head. Try and make it look like a forehead. Underneath my chin, so it kind of looks like I don't have a double chin. I don't have a double chin, but it just slims out my face. And then I am going to put this powder underneath there to make it it's going to help make it look not so messy and more contoured. This is my favorite drugstore blush, you guys. I use this every day. It is the Milani Luminoso brush. The Milani Luminoso blush. And I'm going to use the Real Techniques blush. No, it's the stippling brush. And I'm going to apply that onto the apples of my cheeks. Look how beautiful that blush is. I am obsessed. This is my all-time favorite blush. I'm going to go ahead and use this highlighting brush from Morphe. I'm going to take a little bit of each of those. This is a drugstore product as well, you guys, and this is my favorite highlighter. It's the Sleek Solstice palette. It's only $15. Anyways, I'm going to put that on my cheekbones. I gotta contour my nose. I'm gonna take some more of that Fit Me powder and this fluffy blending brush from Sigma and just go on the sides of my nose and the bottom of my nose just to make my nose look slimmer and also to even out my face, so just not my nose is white and the rest of it looks bronzed. I'm going to go ahead and take that little teeny tiny brush from Morphe and that lightest color in the Solstice palette and put it down the center of my nose to make my nose look slimmer. I'm going to put some on my Cupid's bow, some of that highlighter on my Cupid's bow to make my lips look larger. And I'm going to go ahead and dust off that powder. And then for the final touch, I'm going to put my favorite lipstick on from Maybelline. It's Born With It, and I'm showing you guys, but it's upside down. I'm such an idiot. So then I'm going to go put it on. Oh my gosh, I love this lipstick. It reminds me a lot of Matte Cream Cup, and these two are my favorite lipsticks. So there is the look. I'm gonna go ahead and put these lashes on by Christina. You can get these at Amazon. I'll link those down below as well. I'm going to go ahead and apply those. Look what a difference it makes. Every little thing can make a little bit of a difference. It just depends on what things you want to spend time on. So that's what's great about makeup, is you can decide what steps and what things that you want to do. Okay, so this is the final look. I really love it. I think it turned out beautifully. My husband was asking me the other night, you know, what do you think is worth spending money on, like at a high-end store, and what can you just buy at the drugstore? So I was thinking a lot about that, and I think probably bronzers. I mean, I did use this powder that's just a couple shades darker than my skin tone, and it did work, but it's hard to find really good bronzers and contour powders that don't look too muddy and aren't too orange. So if I was going to spend money on something, it would be that. And then another thing that I really think that is worth spending money on is brushes. And just to get, you don't have to spend a lot of money on the brush. You don't have to buy the $40, $50 MAC brush, but I would go on Morphe's website. They have amazing brushes. They're just as good as the MAC ones. And I would just get a few brushes there, because if you have the right brushes, then you can make a lot of things work. These eyeshadows from Wet n Wild were pretty good though. I really enjoyed this palette, and I think it's a great buy for someone who's starting out, who is on a budget and wants to have a variety of eyeshadows. So yeah, I think this is definitely worth the money that I paid. I bought 2 of them, so I'm going to be giving one away, and then also I'm going to be giving away my favorite drugstore lipstick. It is the Maybelline Born With It, and it's what I have on my lips right now. So head over to my Instagram. If you want to enter here, if you don't want to go on over to my Instagram, just make sure to subscribe to me here, and then leave a comment down below saying that you entered. If you want another entry, you can go over to Instagram and follow me there, like the picture, and you'll get an extra entry for each person that you tag in the comments in my Instagram. So go ahead and do that so you can win this palette, because it is pretty amazing. I think I'll do another video about brushes on a budget. I, for the longest time, was only using like 3 brushes. I'll show you what they were. Okay, the 3 brushes I had was this one. It's just this big fluffy brush. I went into the MAC store and just said, hey, what's the best universal brush that I could use for almost everything? And they said that this one was. I paid $40 for this though. This was before Morphe had brushes and Real Techniques, and before I knew about e.l.f., but I still do use this a lot to wipe off powder and stuff. But I have had this brush, you guys, probably for 10 years. I've had it forever. It's the MAC 107. but you only need a couple brushes if you're starting out. But I can talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, I used to use this to bronze, to put my powder on, to put my blush on. If I wanted to contour, I'd just kind of squish it and use it like that. So yeah, you only need a couple brushes to start out. And then I had this one, it's just a double-ended one. This I just packed on shadow, and this one I used to blend everything out. So I mean, if you're just starting out, don't feel overwhelmed, just work with what you have and have fun with makeup. That's totally what I did at first, because I didn't have the funds. I just worked with what I had and had fun. So don't feel like you have to do every single step that I put in these videos. You can just take and leave whatever steps that you want to incorporate in your routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and you can follow me on Instagram. It's Tonie Tutorials, and I'll be doing a giveaway coming up on those couple things, so stay tuned for that. Remember that you are beautiful. Bye!